My show. My show. The whole get my show. My show. The whole my show. The whole DMI show. Underground lyric killer. It's the whole DMI show. Whole DMI show.
What the fuck is up, everybody? This is the Hulk DMI show. I am your host, Hulk DMI, and we have a very, very special guest today. Some call him a vegetable, some call him a human. I don't know, but we're about to find out. We have Eggplant from Demonic Hen in the motherfucking house tonight. So everybody give him a warm welcome, and yeah, eat your motherfucking veggies, or don't. I don't know. We'll find out. We will find out.
Right on.
Yo,
Here
what the
it
fuck
is.
is up,
Eggplant's in
Eggplant?
full effect.
Can you hear me?
I hear you. Can you hear me? Am I on?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear.
Right on. That's my Dave Chappelle impersonation.
Good, good. Okay, I like that. Dave Chappelle is an excellent comedian.
I don't know. He's here and there, but every once in a while he makes me laugh. Old
Yeah,
School Dave was great.
Old School Dave was great. Old School Eddie Murphy was great too.
Oh yeah. Old school, a lot of things were really great. Eggplant likes to go back in the past and take a look at them old school days, which we called the present. That shit was dope, man.
Yeah, I mean it's all about time traveling.
Yeah.
So let's get started off. Why don't you let everybody know who is Eggplant? What is Eggplant?
Yo, I am Eggplant, and I'm from the future, and I'm here to warn you guys, beware the demonic head. The demonic head is going to rise in your present future, and it's going to consume humanity. So you have to prepare yourself for the battle that is about to ensue.
Fuck yes. What exactly is a demonic hen?
The demonic head is going to be an evil force that's going to be created, and it's going to rise, and it's going to become possessed with all these demonic forces of the slaughtered chickens that weren't good enough to eat. And when it rises, it will consume humanity.
Oh shit. I like your energy, man. It's like almost like a wrestling promotion.
Well, we are in the fight. Sigue la lucha.
Yeah. What's some of your favorite wrestlers?
Well, wrestling, man, I go way back. I like a lot of wrestlers. I like Wahoo McDaniel. That's a really old school wrestler from the Paul Bosch days here in Houston at the Coliseum. So I followed wrestling for a long time. I like Mexican wrestling. I used to like to catch it at Reynosa or Laredo when I was younger. It used to be easier to cross the border. But, you know, I won't get into that just yet. We like to import, not export.
Yeah.
Or
I mean,
the other way around. I don't know. I'm just a fruit. What do I know?
or both. I mean, is an eggplant actually a fruit?
Yeah, I'm actually a fruit. I'm okay. I can admit it. I'm secure.
So are all eggplants fruits, or
Yeah, we're all fruits. Eggplants we're all fruits, all of us.
holy shit, I'm learning some shit today.
You
So
never know.
how did you get the name Eggplant? Was this given to you at birth, or
I believe generationally, seasonally, it's just the spawning of my seed. It's what I was, and it's what I will leave behind.
nice? Okay. So let me get a little bit of personal history about Eggplant.
Okay. Well, considering we're in your time, Eggplant does not exist yet. Because in the future, when I'm actually spawned out of the earth, it's a different time and a different place compared to your now. But soon enough, your now will be my time.
So what you're trying to say is our time, you have no personal history, but you may have some personal history in your time.
I would probably call it a personal future.
Okay. So let's hear about your personal future.
Well, in the personal future, I spend a lot of my time trying to get humanity to recognize the evil around it, and how with just a little community, a little sharing, a little helping each other out, we could all achieve the things that we need to conquer the demonic hand and gain back our rightful place in the human nature and existence in the order of the world.
Okay. So let me ask you. I when I was doing my intro just a minute ago, I told everybody they should eat their veggies. Are you for or against that?
Well, I mean, it depends on what your kink is.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. I feel that.
I mean, realistically, as an eggplant, I look forward to the day that we finally feast upon your decay.
Okay. So it's pretty safe to say, you're not for eating your veggies. You're more for eating your humans.
Well, we're more for you eating your veggies. It's a symbiotic relationship. In order for life to exist, death must happen.
Okay.
I'm willing to die in order for someone else to live if someone is willing to die for me. It's reciprocal.
Okay. So in your band, Demonic Hen, what are some of the other fruits and vegetables that we may come across?
Right now, our lineup involves kale on guitar, shredding the guitars, and then we have asparagus, tickling the keys, and then we have beat, as always, on the beat.
Nice.
Right. And then I cover the low end, the growling deep end of the band. I cover the bass. I cover the deep end vocals. And asparagus is also on vocals, and kale as well. Kale is on vocals.
Nice. So has there been any future or past band members that are not mentioned here?
Oh, the lineup for the Demonic Hen has been long and varied. It's been a veritable cornucopia of vegetables that have been a part of the Demonic Hen. There's been avocados growing in the garden with us. There's been potatoes growing in the garden with us. There's been carrots growing in the garden with us. Even one for a little while, there was a pizza trying to hang around, and we had to be like, "No, dude, just because the U.S. government says that you're a vegetable does not make it so." I don't know about that. I still don't get with it. I don't believe it. Pizza's not a
So
vegetable.
we're not going to follow government protocols here.
Sometimes they're right, sometimes they're wrong.
I mean, do fruits and vegetables have their governments or?
Well, we have an order of existence. Some of us you can't put next to each other because things get a little unruly. Someone might get choked out or something. I mean, it's just like people, you know. Some people you can put in a room with each other and they're gonna have a good time, and some people you put in a room and you don't want to know what happened. It could be bad. But vegetables are the same way, you know. Vegetation is the same way. You ever see kazoo in the springtime? You ever see kazoo in the summer? Wow, it just creeps all over everything and it consumes it all.
Right, exactly. We have a few comments here in the comment section. We have Nedden Spreader 17 saying, "Will we see a new rapping Eggplant Man song?"
We do have a song that we call the Funky Cheese, and we invite our smoked Gouda Buddha to come out and jump on the mic with us on that. It's a little funkier. It's got a little bit of that urban hip hop vibe to it. We like that. We're down with that culture. You should also, if you really like hip hop, man, and you want to check out Eggplant, Eggplant did do an outro for the Free Radicals on their new album. You should check out both their new albums. They're dope. And they're against the system harder than most things that you plug in. I say that because they're an acoustic jazz band, and they're like a second line band, and they are amazing, man. They're H-Town legends. You should check them out. I was really blessed to even get like 2 words on the album. I got more than that. Check them out, man. They're dope. The Free Radicals.
Nice. Okay, so we got another question here from Colton Primo. Is Demonic Hen technically a vegan band?
Technically we're vegetables, but again, we consume decaying and decomposing matter as it rots on the ground, and we suck up the nutrients through the soil.
I mean, that's kind of vegan, I would say.
I don't know. I mean, decaying flesh. I don't know.
Depends on what kind of
I
flesh
think
you're talking.
humanity's got the wrong idea of us sometimes. I mean, I don't know. You know, I'm just an eggplant. What do I know?
Well, I don't know. You tell us. What do eggplants know?
I'll tell you one thing I know. I know this, man. I know that, again, we're here to battle the demonic hen. And one of the ways that I can get people out there to battle the demonic hen is I'd like to invite everybody watching right now to come out to the Chili Con Carnage Cook-Off and Benefit Concert. It's going to be at 1810 Ojiman. It's going to be a great lineup. There's going to be like 9 bands performing throughout the afternoon on Sunday, March 12th. There's going to be
I have a
there it
thing
is.
for that.
Right, we're going to have the Demonic Hen, my band. We're going to be playing. Johnny from Stupid Idiot is going to be performing. We're going to have Toxic Origin. We're going to have the Free Radicals, which I mentioned. We're going to have Rooftop Boxer. We're going to have Holy Hell. We're going to have Psychotic Tendencies from Brian. And this whole thing is being organized by Banding Together, which is a local organization here in Texas, organized by the Demonic Hen and Psychotic Tendencies together. We would like to bring punk bands and musicians together to do some good things. We're punks with a purpose, and we want to get out there and make some changes and make people feel supported in this community. Times have been hard since the pandemic. Things have been really crazy. And if anything, punk is about support. So we want to be there to give people, if anything, a good time to at least get their spirits up for a little bit. Come eat some food, come talk to some people and make new neighbors and friends and like make it a community. I'm always preaching unity through community and Veggies United. And this is a perfect example for you guys to come out and experience exactly what we're talking about at the Banding Together Chili Con Carnage. We'd love to have you.
Hell yeah. So let me ask you this. What is your favorite fruit or vegetable? Your favorite produce?
Oh, well.
Don't say eggplants.
Oddly enough, really, it's eggplant. I'm a cannibal. I love eggplant. I love myself as Baba Ganoush. I love myself as eggplant parmesan. I love myself as just roasted eggplant. Oh man, I'm just so good. Grilled smoked eggplant over some nice wood. Yummy.
When we say eggplant over some wood, are we referring to like literal actual wood from a tree, or?
Oh well, I was talking about some smoking.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, I had to clarify that. A lot of people call penises wood. And a lot of people call penises eggplants.
Oh well, I mean. Right. I can't help what people say. I can only be me.
Why do you think that people compare eggplants to penises?
Probably the tip.
Yeah, I mean that would make sense.
Earth. I mean, we are thick.
If it ain't green, it ain't mean, right?
Oh yeah, an eggplant likes to shake it.
Do you shake it once, twice, or 3 times?
I shake it as many times as they'll let me.
Yeah? Well, you know what they say, man. So, let me ask you, on a serious note here, what's some of your favorite songs by yourself and other people?
Oh, well, by myself, as far as like, you mean like songs that I've written?
Songs that you've made and songs from other artists. Yeah, both.
Oh, okay. As far as songs that I've written, I really enjoy the song "We Feast Upon Your Decay." That's one that we haven't really put out there. We just play it in the studio. and
Nice.
it's really different, and we just kind of keep it to ourselves. It's heavy and it's fun, and I like jamming to it. It's got a really good roll through it. It makes me want to just get like amped up. You know what I mean? And then as far as personally, I listen to a lot of music from like all around the world. I listen to obscure stuff. I try to listen to as much local stuff as I can. And the best way to do that is to go to local shows. So I try to go to as many shows as I can. Houston is so big, man. It's the biggest little town in this fucking country, dude. It's crazy. You can go
Exactly.
all over this city in a week and not touch the same crowd. You could play a different place every night and not touch the same crowd. And it's like got so much opportunity to get out there and really rub elbows with the people. You know, that's where the action is. And I think it's great, man, that like really, even though the pandemic has happened, even though a lot of places have closed, people have talked about places that are no longer around. Like there have been a lot of places that have sprung up. Just
Hmm.
as many have sprung up, if not more. And so it's like really vibrant right now because people are getting out with 2 3 years worth of material they haven't been able to put out. It's the time to get out there and see that stuff and to hear it and experience it. Theater in Houston is happening right now. It's so vibrant in Houston right now. Catastrophic Theater is doing things right now you should go see. They do a lot of pay what you can, and that's really good to go out there and see theater. If you're an artist, if you're a musician, if you're a performer, you need to get out there and check everyone else out to improve your craft. It's a great thing to do, man. It just broadens your horizons. And hopefully you'll run into me, man, and you'll say, hey, and then we'll develop a little community together. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And outside of Houston, is there any other places that Eggplant may be found?
We've played other places like New Orleans. We were invited to play the New Orleans Veggie Fest, and we're always down to do that. You know how New Orleans gets down. They got a festival for everything. And then
Oh
we've
yeah.
also played like Austin. You know, we played other places. But Houston is our home. It's where we're at, and it's what we're concerned about. You know, there's real things going on in Houston that we can affect change. And like, for instance, right now, you know, I've brought up the chili con carnage, but the most important thing to say about that is that the whole event is geared towards raising money for Food Not Bombs, which is under attack right now by the city of Houston and HPD. They have been writing tickets. They've now written 4 tickets to 4 individuals since Sunday, I believe, for sharing food with people, with displaced citizens. It
That's
should
fucking
not be
ridiculous.
illegal. It should not be illegal to share food with somebody. It's the most non-human thing a person can decide to make a rule, in my opinion. I mean, I've seen you guys. I've seen what big hearts you guys really have. That's why I try not to eat so much of you guys. You know what I
Yeah, I
mean? Like,
mean, you're not wrong, man. Like, not only is that really fucked for people to make a rule like that, but it's even more fucked for the ones that are enforcing it.
exactly. To have to decide, will I have a heart or will I have a paycheck, is no decision for anyone to make. You
Yeah.
know, I don't necessarily agree with law enforcement on a lot of things, but I definitely see how some people feel like they have no other choice. And that's unfortunate because we can make decisions. Instead of writing a ticket, you can get in the line and help hand it out. You can stand there and guarantee order. You can stand there and guarantee security and safety. You can guarantee the safety of the community that's trying to take care of itself instead of fining us for being there feeding each other.
Yeah.
I mean, I know I can go down to Herman Park and see any number of people having birthday parties where they all brought food, and none of those people are going to be ticketed. And if you follow the law, that's against the law too, and that's horrible. I would never pursue that in my entire life. I would never enforce that law. But it is a fact and there are 4 people now who have been written tickets. There is a federal lawsuit that has been filed in the case, in the matter. And I mean, it's not going to be a simple thing to push away. Food Not Bombs has been in existence in Houston for over 20 years. There is no organization to it. There is no chairman. There is no CEO. There's nobody getting paid to drive a Beamer while they're saying they're helping people to be fed. It's none of that. It's just people who are citizens in the city who have seen a need and seen how they can fulfill that need. And they're out there doing it of their own volition, of their own energy, with their own money, their own time and effort. And how can that not be respected? Why is that finable? Whatever it is, we're going to fight it this Sunday with a good old-fashioned party where we're going to have a chili cook-off. We're going to have a bunch of bands. People are going to get together. We're going to laugh. We're going to have a good time. And we're going to raise money for Food Not Bombs, because those people there, that's the silver lining of Houston. Those are the good people of Houston. We know, City of Houston, that the Final Four is coming. We know that this is what you do whenever there's a major sporting event in town. We get it. We love the Rockets. We love the Astros. We love the Texans. We love the Dynamos. But we love our neighbors as well. And we love being human, and we love having a heart. And if you don't understand that the best way for you to take course of action in this is to take them under your wing and provide support. Talk to the people down at Food Not Bombs. Talk to the people at Tuesday Chicken Night who got ticketed tonight. Talk to them and see what they can do and what kind of support you can give them, and make it a viable situation. Why would you ticket them and make them enemies of the city? Preposterous. That's the city of Houston.
Fucking ridiculous.
That's Mayor Turner.
So while we're on the topic, what are some other things that Eggplant stands for? And I mean, what are some other things that Eggplant hates, in fact?
Well, one of the things that Eggplant hates for sure, I can't stand it. It gets to me so bad. You're going to get me worked up just talking about it. One of the things Eggplant hates is hate. There's no room for it. There's no room for it. If you've got an ounce of hate in you, that's an ounce too much. You need to shed that. You need to get out there amongst the people. You need to have a good time with your friends, your family. Recognize what's important. Grow something in the backyard and share a salad out of something you've grown. Recognize what's true and recognize what's real. If you want to talk about what Eggplant hates, it's hate. Hate leads to displacency. Hate leads to a lax attitude, and things get by you. You need to stay positive. You need to maintain a positive mental attitude. When things get negative, do what you can to flip that situation around. If you see something wrong, don't just walk away. Stick your hand in there and fix the situation. You're the one that recognized it. There's a purpose for that. There's a reason why we're banding together, because we recognize there's a purpose for that. We have to put our hands where they fit, and we have to get it working. The city's not going to fix it. They're going to hurt us, man. They're going to fine us. So if they're going to fine us, it's up to us to help each other. So
Right,
we're going to help each other.
You got to be out there. You got to help your fellow man. You got to do what you can, especially for those who need it, and especially if you can.
Oh, definitely. The biggest way to affect change is not to vote. I'm not going to tell you to vote, not to vote. I'm going to tell you instead, check on your elderly neighbor. Check on the neighbor down the street that you haven't seen in a couple of days. I'm going to tell you to go down wherever you hang out and make friends with somebody new the day you go there. Every day you go there, try to say hi to someone new. Try to gain a new friend that will lead you to a new experience. And hopefully that new experience will broaden your understanding, and you'll gain more compassion for the people around you and for yourself. And through that process, hate will no longer be necessary.
Exactly. You know, put yourself out there. You know, make friends with somebody you think that you would never be friends with. You know, that's how
Exactly,
you experience
exactly.
life.
I'm going to tell you something, man. It's really cool because, you know, some people would really want to stick to their guns about a lot of things, and I really get that. Sticking to your guns is a very important attribute. The ability to stick to your guns, maintain your disciplines, that's really important. But it's also important to be flexible. It's also important to be respectful. It's also important to be understanding and to have compassion. And these are all things that sometimes we forget because we get so wrapped up in sticking to our guns and fighting a fight that we don't realize maybe we could gain that fight a different way. And here's an example. People talk about vegans consistently, hate vegans, right? Well, there's a reason why so many vegans are hated because they are so strict and stringent in their perspective that when they try to approach somebody, all that person tastes is vinegar.
Yeah,
You need honey to trap the bee. You need color and light to trap the bee. You know what I'm saying? And
hmm
so like I don't know, man. At our shows, we have such a dichotomy of people that will show up, and it's really amazing to me that one person will walk up to me and be one side of the spectrum, and then someone after them will come up to me and be the completely opposite side of that spectrum, and they're both at the show together, hanging out at that event, and their political views don't matter at that moment.
right.
There are
But they're still
people at my
unified.
show. There are people at my show that are those strict vegans, and then there are people at my show who are also hunters, and they understand what I'm saying. And I get messages from those hunters about, guess what I tried today with whatever new vegetable they tried. It's a thing that just because we don't have completely aligning beliefs doesn't mean that we can't find middle ground and some way to respect each other. Respect, it's needed. It's really needed. Lots of people are lacking it these days.
Yeah. So, I mean, how does that make you feel inside when you're helping people and uniting people like that?
I just feel like I did what I could. The best feeling really is knowing that somebody was there for me when I needed it. And that I learned through life because people were able to take me under their wing, mentor me, show me things about life that maybe I didn't learn from school or family or friends previous. It's called growing up. And through my process of growing up, I've been really blessed. And I recognize that now as a grown up eggplant. And I recognize that now is my time. I can no longer complain about the world around me. It is now up to me to fix it because it is now our time. We are now the adults in the room. We can't blame it on other people. We can't blame it on this or that. And the only way you can really affect it is not be concerned about those things you see on TV. Be concerned about those things you see in your neighborhood. Be concerned about those things you see around you with your friends, with your coworkers. Have a heart and reach out to them when you see somebody struggling. Because reality is more of us are struggling every day with things the way they are in this present time. And it doesn't seem to be getting any better. In fact, it
Yeah.
seems to be getting worse to the point to where we're ticketing people for feeding the homeless.
Yeah, it's just consistently getting more and more shit. Everywhere you look, things are getting
Yeah,
shittier.
they talk about freedom while constraining the leash.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you do with that?
I mean, what can you do with that?
Get together with your neighbors and develop a community. Develop your own understanding of your reality and your world and affect it and make it what you want it to be. Humans have a saying I've heard, and it is the world is what you make it. And if that's true, then get it fixed. There's no room for complaints. What action have you taken today to make sure that one thing got fixed, or you made a step towards growth? Eggplant is all about growth, man. I want everybody around me to grow, and any way I can help you grow, I want to shed my light on you. If you grow in your garden and you're nice and strong, then my garden's going to grow nice and strong. We're all going to eat. The pack doesn't go hungry. We split the plate.
Exactly. So speaking of cooking and eating and growing, who would you say is your biggest cooking inspiration?
Oh, that's easy. My grandparents, my grandmothers.
Yeah.
Oh, easily, yeah. My grandmothers. I love my grandmother's food. Everybody loves their parents or grandparents' food, right? No food better than grandma's. You know what I'm saying?
What's the best thing you learned how to cook from grandma?
Oh, well, my favorite thing that I learned to cook from my grandmother is probably one of the simplest things, but I really don't eat it much anymore. And that is, when I was younger, I used to love to eat tacos that were like salchicha con huevo y frijol, which is like tacos with like scrambled eggs and chopped up weenies. I used to love the shit out of that, man, but I don't eat that shit anymore, man. But I got to get away from that shit.
Why'd you stop, man?
Oh man, it's all about growth. It's all about growth, and it's a very real reality in the sense that like too many of them tacos led to too much physical growth, and I've decided to get control of it. And yeah, man, I've been doing that. That's being Eggplant is not just a message to everybody else, but it's a message to Eggplant too. Asparagus, she learns from what we do too. We all learn from what we do together. It's a support group. We're all friends, and we're friends before anything. We've always come together under that umbrella, and we've been able to create music together, and we've been able to get on stages and talk about ideas and stimulate conversation together. And that's really what we're trying to instigate. You know, that's where we're at.
Yeah. How did you guys meet in the first place?
Oh well, life. You are walking down the street one day, you look up and you meet somebody for the first time, and that's all of us. We've all been that way. But the odd thing is too is that all the members of the band right now, we all have actually probably been in the same room, probably even like 10, 15, 20 years ago at different points in time where, you know, Kale, for instance, used to go to shows at Fitzgerald's. Kale used to go see 30 Foot Fall. He would go see Bickley. He would go see those local shows back then, like Monster Soup, people like Dinosaur Salad, the Hates and stuff like that. And I would be at those shows too, but we never met until he joined the band. Asparagus was roommates with somebody I used to work with, and we never met. All the parties I went to at their house, at their apartment or whatever, all the times I dropped him off there, and I never met her until the day we finally met. And
Yeah.
now we have a band. Yeah, I like to call it the cosmos.
And what made you guys wanna decide to be a band? What made you want to pick up an instrument and learn how to play it?
I think we're all just, I don't think we'd be doing anything else.
It just
I
felt
mean,
right.
we're all just people who enjoy music and play music. We all have musical tendencies. Kale's been playing for years. He's he's been playing for years and years. Marcia is like classical, or Asparagus is classically schooled and trained. You know, Beat Beat has been playing since she was a little kid. And it's just I've always enjoyed doing music. I've always enjoyed performing with theaters. I've always enjoyed creating art and being involved in performance art. And I it's It's something that we would be doing. We do it whether we get paid or not. You know what I mean? We do it whether we sell a shirt or not. We would be playing in a room by ourselves if it was up to us. We would be playing in a room in front of 1,000 people, whatever. I don't know. ICP has that thing about I wouldn't trade one Juggalo for 10 Taylor Swift fans. You know what I'm saying? It's like
Yeah.
that kind of thing. It's like it's just we're driven to do it, and we're amazed if anyone comes to our show. We're amazed if anyone says it was good, because we're just having the time of our lives, just having a good time. You
Yeah,
know?
it's a real good feeling when you're doing it for yourself, and it's an even better feeling when you're doing it for yourself and people are enjoying it, you know?
Yeah, and then we're also doing it for the idea of like trying to instigate that conversation for a better situation. We know lots of people who are having hard times, and one of the easiest ways for us to give back with who we are naturally is to just entertain. Let's entertain. Let's get up there and play some music and have some fun. Let's get up there, let's play the show, but let's also bring some food and let's share with the people. We like to do a thing we call Anarchy Kitchen at our show where, depending on the place, if we can do it, if we're allowed or whatever, we like to do a thing we call Anarchy Kitchen. And at our merch booth, we give away like free holies and like rice, and we'll make a bunch of rice and beans, or we'll make like the Demonic Hen vegan chili, our award-winning Demonic Hen vegan chili, and we'll make like vegan chili Frito pies or whatever. So that people also are eating while they're at the show. I've been going to local shows since I was like 14, and I'm like 40 something now, and like food is always lacking. It's hard to be in the pit for 6 hours, man, and not have anything to eat, and all you've had is like 12 beers.
Right?
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So,
I've definitely felt that feeling before. And then you want to go grab something to eat, and what little they have, it's $15 for a small little plate of nachos or something, you know?
exactly. Or you're going to go leave, and you get to the door, and there's a no reentry. You got to pay again to get back in if you want to come back. And like, why, dude? I mean, come on. You
Yeah, it's
don't have
fun.
any food here. People need to eat. I mean, I don't know. I've been to some marathon shows, man, that were like from like noon until like 2 o'clock at night, and there was not a single vendor. There was not anything to eat, and all it was literally from noon to 2 o'clock at night was beer.
Yeah.
Now, I love beer, but after like hour 6 of that, I'm not going to be able to stand up anymore.
Exactly.
Yeah, hell yeah. I love to
So,
drink a lot of beer, but food's
so
good too.
I know we've kind of touched on music a lot. You know, you're a musician for sure. Music is something you're passionate about. We've touched a little bit on cooking and how much you love food and cooking. I know you kind of brought up, you know, that you do a little bit of art on the side, you know, performance and whatnot. What are some other things you do? And you want to talk a little bit more about your art side that's not music?
Well, everything I do involves music. Everything I do involves art. Everything I do involves performance. I consider myself a performance artist uh, before anything else, because I feel that's a larger umbrella that really encompasses everything I do. Um, in the past, I've been a part of, let's see, there's Demonic Hen. I've also been a part of a thing called Gorilla Soul, which is GOREALAH, Soul. And that was H Town's Professional Party Crashers. That was the original party animal, the unbearable DJ Juan One, with Eugenius, the misfit of R&B. He's another Houston legend. If you're out there in H-Town, you should really check him out. He's doing a thing now that's happening out there. You should really go look him up and check it out. Check out his little show, The History of Eugenius. Gorilla Soul was another thing that it was a guerrilla performance art kind of thing. Basically, Eugenius was his own entity as an artist, as a musician. He was an R&B performer. He had, a couple of CDs, albums, and stuff. He had a lot of people that really enjoyed what he did. It was definitely baby making music. It was shake your ass music. It was get crazy music, but it was definitely hip hop, urban, soul. It was really nice. It was something you might hear on KTSU. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But like what I did with him is I got together with him and I broke it down to the boombox, and we would invade art shows and art galleries when they were having events, and we would bring music to rooms that were quiet, and we would invade it, and we would just turn that motherfucker out, and we would have everybody in that motherfucker shaking ass, and that's how
Hell
it
yeah.
went down. Yeah, and we got a
That's how
fucking
you gotta do
Houston
it.
Press Award for that.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So, what's some of your goals for the future? What are we looking to get into next?
Well, what we're looking to get into next is we've got some more ideas for banding together, the charity organization. We plan on doing several shows over the next year or so. We're getting some things lined up. We're going to be probably some people we might be working with, supporting, might be Hope for Houston. If you have a third Sunday available at like 10 o'clock in the morning down on Commerce Street by the Blue House, Hope for Houston meets down there. Their name is an acronym. The acronym stands for Homeless Outreach, providing essential for Houston's homeless. And what they do is they set up like a 60-foot long table, and on that table, they provide all types of essential items and necessities for Houston's homeless, ranging from toilet paper, soap, shampoo, conditioner, feminine products, to all kinds of things like backpacks to keep your stuff in. During the winter, they hand out blankets and ponchos and stuff. It's a lot that they hand out. They don't really do a lot of food, but they do stuff like snacks so that people have snacks. There's plenty of people out there doing food, and there's also the whole legality thing about it right now. So,
Yeah.
it's just another good organization. We've helped them in the past, and we might help them here coming up. And there's some other ideas of things that we might want to do. One of the next things we're going to be doing is going to be in Bryan, Texas. As I mentioned, Psychotic Tendencies is the other half of the organization. They're located in Bryan. And so they're going to be throwing a banding together event in Bryan so that we can strike at something in O'Brien, out in Bryan, and hopefully raise some money and funds for something that needs some help there. And that's going to be coming up, I believe, in September. If you can go out there, like Psychotic Tendencies, they're amazing. They're a group of young individuals that are family. It's two brothers and a sister. They started when they were like 13 and 16 respectively, and they're like, the oldest one is like old enough to drink now, and they're an amazing fucking band. The youth of fucking Houston, the youth of Texas, the music scene that they have, the music scene that the youth is cultivating is amazing. I love going to the shows at the House of Jay and to see these young kids doing these things in a way that just blow my mind at how advanced these kids are with their scene. And they're so strong and they're so tight. I love it, man. There's so many good young scenes out there, like the hardcore scene with like Exidium, the Virulent. There's all these bands out there, man. You go to their shows and the kids are hungry for it. And I love that. I want to see so much more of that happening in my city. And if there's anything I could do to progress that, believe me, I want to have my hand in it.
Yeah, I have been noticing a lot of the scene, especially the punk rock scene in Houston is really blowing up right now. They're really doing some stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot going on, man. Like with the amount of places that have opened up that are willing to open their stages up to punk rock and hardcore, I mean, it's really good, man. You've got House of J. From House of J, you got Kickback Bar. From Kickback Bar, you go down the street, you got Black Magic Social Club. You got the Hellcat Cafe. From there, you can hop on over to the end and the compound in the same spot. Two clubs in the same location. One stage bigger than the other. It's insane. Like, we have never been so blessed with opportunities to get out there and perform. Super Happy Funland is still open. White Swan is still open. Bar Acadia, Scout Bar, Union Tavern. All these places are still open, man. And Big Star Bars open. We now have Star Sailor. They're hosting shows. There's 1810 OG Men. The scene in Houston is strong and it's getting stronger. And the more we can get people to come to these shows, the more we can get people to be a part of what's happening, the stronger our community can be, the better chances we have of being able to get things done for each other. If it's anything more than just going to a show. I mean, growing up as a kid in Houston, it wasn't easy to see this stuff just anywhere. You had specific places you had to go, the island, you had to go like to the Axiom, like those early years were really crazy. And like as things have progressed, it has definitely become more accepted, just like skateboarding. When I was young, man, I remember cops harassing us. I remember cops taking our boards, beating people up, shooting our boards in front of us, threatening to take us to jail, all the shit that we used to go through as skaters growing up. And now there's skate parks sponsored by the city all over town. And it's beautiful. And there's people there with their kids. And skateboarding is being handed to the next generation of sprouts. That's what needs to be happening, man. We need to be spreading that goodness to the next generation. That's who's going to make sure that when we get old and feeble, that we have somebody looking out for us.
Yeah, it's really crazy to see how a lot of these things, like punk rock music and skateboarding and stuff, have went from so unacceptable to being a lot more acceptable now. How they've managed to advance, as far as people accepting what they do.
Social acceptability, yeah. Some people call it wokeness, and like, I mean, I prefer to be woke. I really enjoy the benefits of being woke. I do, because as a purple skinned person, it only benefits me to be woke. It's an insane situation that's happening in these present times, and it takes a lot of togetherness between us all to really get through it.
Exactly. So let's, on a different note, let's see here. What's something? Tell me a crazy story. What's some crazy shit that's happened with you before, man?
Some crazy shit that's happened to me before.
Craziest thing that you've done, that you've been through.
Well, how about this? I'll tell you a story that involves an ex and Guar.
Okay.
Okay. So
I love Guar. That sounds like a fun story.
Right. Everybody loves Guar. I love Guar. Guar fucking rules, man. So we go to New Orleans, man, to go check out Guar. And they're going to play at the House of Blues, and we go down there. And this was like, maybe like 15 years ago. And I took a bunch of brownies with me and a bunch of like, good party favors. And we went out there and we took a bunch of them. We're standing in line and we're waiting for the show to open. And the ex is like, hey, I'm going to go inside and use the bathroom and I'll be back. And I'm like, cool. She goes inside and I'm standing there and we're cool. We're in line. Time passes by. And I'm like, man, she's been in there for a long time. I'm making all these dirty jokes in my head about what she's doing in the bathroom. And next thing I know, the guys from Guar come running out and they're like looking at the line and they look like directly at me. And they're like, hey, your girl is like passed out on the floor in here. And I'm like, oh shit. So I go in there to find my girl with her head in between Otis's legs and like ball sacks, like holding her feet up. And like they're fanning her with menus and they're all like trying to help her and everything. Those guys, those are some seriously solid guys, dude. They really stood up for their fan. They totally helped her out, man. They got her up. They got her friends that were there with her, which was me. We were able to tend to her. And you know, Guar is another great example, man. But that's just a weird little thing that happened between us where like we had a little interaction with each other. You know, there were some other things in my life that happened around Guar that I could tell you about. But that's just one. I'll tell that one because that's one where they showed, you know, a little community with their base.
Nice. Do you think that Eggplant could ever become a member of Guar? Do you think you would fit in that group?
Definitely. Yeah, I definitely could fit into Guar. The only
You think
thing
there's
is,
room for an Eggplant?
I mean, from what I understand, their rectum's open pretty widely.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I definitely think I could fit in there. I don't know. Um, I tell you one thing, man. I would never want to try to take the vocalist spot.
And why is that?
The fact that Beefcake stepped up and took that space there the way he did. I mean, you've got to be pretty confident in yourself to take that space. You know,
Oh
Odor is
yeah, I
very
mean,
heavy.
Odorous is very, very hard to replace, man. That's heavy.
He's heavy. Yeah, that guy is definitely a big influence in my world, man.
Yeah, and many others as well, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think it'd be pretty safe to say that Guar is probably one of your biggest influences, right?
Well, I mean, there's lots of people before Guar, as far as timeline goes. But definitely, I would say that Guar probably is one of the pinnacle influences for me. Along with people like Blowfly. I love Blowfly. I also like P-Funk, George Clinton, the Mothership. I mean, those shows were fucking amazing, man. Um, I like live shows. I base all my artists off of live shows. I can listen to an album, but I don't really like you until I've seen you live and I see what you produce as a performance. You know, that's when I really get into you. That's like the full buy-in for me. And like seeing people like Glowfly on stage, that guy was great. And when he did that punk tour, that shit was fucking off the rails.
Yeah.
Oh
So
yeah.
I noticed you're bringing up a lot of older artists, a lot of artists that's been around for a pretty good amount of time. How do you feel about how the music industry as a whole and the music business has changed from, you know, say 50 years ago, 20 years ago, you know, up until now?
Well, some people say it's changed, and I can see how things have changed, but really, there's still that underlying culture, you know, and some people are fine with just listening to music, but for some of us, it's not just about listening to the music. It's about the culture. It's about being at those places. It's about getting sweaty in the pit. It's about buying that T-shirt. It's about hanging out by the dumpster at the end and petting the kitty. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? It's about
Yeah.
going to Black Magic Social Club and getting your picture taken in front of the Demon Wing. It's about going to places like White Oak Music Hall and taking your picture in the long line before the show and posting your selfie of it. There's still that culture, that music culture, and that to me is just as important as the music itself, man. That's when you're making that human connection, that human touch. That's when that convergence of energies happen. You know what I mean? That's when you have those spiritual interactions, if you will.
Yeah, exactly. So, have you ever thought about branching out into any other like instruments or a completely different genre that you haven't done yet?
Well, with Eugenius, that was hip hop, soul, R&B. When I was in middle school, I skipped most of the year, but I was in band and I was supposed to play trombone. And I did blow into it a couple of times, and I did, fuck around with it here and there. I think I did one performance with the middle school band. So, I mean, I guess I play trombone too. I don't know. I haven't touched it in years, but I'm into everything musical, man. A heartbeat to me is music. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? The wind blowing against my heartbeat to me, I'm going to develop a tune, man. I'll find a harmony in my brain to that.
exactly. So, I mean, there's no other instruments that you haven't played yet that you think you might one day? Something you might want to start picking up?
Well, I'm not too sure. I don't know. I haven't seen everything yet, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, who knows? I might one day walk out the door and find some new instrument I've never seen. I do play the electric kazoo.
Electric kazoo?
Oh, hell yeah.
Nice. That's
Oh,
one I've
yeah, a
actually
little.
never heard of or seen before.
Oh, yeah, a little doom metal through electric kazoo instead of guitar. That shit still sounds pretty heavy.
I'm definitely going to have to check that out. So,
Yeah.
what's something that people don't know about you? Like, not everybody, but what's something that most people don't know about you?
No, that's
It's a
a
deep
lot of
question, I
things.
know.
Yeah, that's like a pretty broad question.
Yeah.
Uh, something people might not know about me.
Yeah, I want to know something that even your best friends don't know about you. Your family doesn't know about you. Spill the
Oh, well,
beans
there's a
here.
lot of shit my family don't know about me. Here we go. Yeah. No. Something that some people might not know about me is that I'm really into like Japanese, uh, Korean, Asian, like bubblegum music.
Okay.
Yeah, like I'm really into like right now, lately I've been listening to I think her name is Karairi Pamu. I listen to stuff I can't even read the like names of what these bands or songs are called. And like I love this stuff. She's so
Oh, trust me.
awesome.
I have the same feeling, man. I listen to a lot of foreign music where I have no fucking clue what they're talking about, but I still enjoy it, you know?
Yeah, I tend to enjoy foreign music more than I do stuff where I speak the language because I like the idea of the words not influencing me and being able to just freely flow with the flow of the song, the energy of the song. I know that for me, like when I get wrapped up in the words, I forget about the music.
Yeah.
And so that's just how my brain works. So like I really like to listen to foreign music. There's a band I really like that they're playing at in Austin for the Austin Blues Festival. And that's the closest they're getting to Houston so far. And I want to say they're called Mdu Mokhtar, but I could be wrong. The name is Moumoctar,
Okay.
and they're just amazing. They're so amazing. Their music just blows me away. I get lost in their sound. I've got to see them live so that I can really decide if like I'm all in with them because what I've seen in their videos, uh, I'm like 75% down with them. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm almost all the way down, but I got to see that live performance. You know, it's just me.
Yeah. So I gotta know, man, why are your eyes so red?
Oh man, it's something in the air around here. Oh no,
Yeah?
man, your time and place, the cities, they're pretty smoky around here. I don't know
I
what
mean,
it is.
I thought I had some fucking red eyes, you know, but you got me beat, man, by a long shot.
It's these future trees we got over here, man. These future trees, they're something different.
What kind of trees are we looking to expect in the future?
Oh man, when you get there, you're gonna be blown away. All I can say is when I was a kid, man, those kind of trees used to come in the shape of a brick, and they used to smell like diesel.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a pretty fucking old person. I'm not that old, but I'm old enough to remember the bricks.
Yeah, sometimes they smelled like a bunch of air freshener. You know,
Sometimes they smelled like cat piss.
sometimes, yeah, sometimes. That's what these kids these days have it like really good, not knowing about all that stuff. You
Oh yeah,
know,
man, that's like pretty much non-existent now.
yeah, the trees these days, man, they've really honed the science on how to like grow them and cultivate them. So it's amazing, man.
What's your favorite tree?
Oh, well, my favorite tree is the one that I got in front of me, ready to go.
Yeah, I mean that's always the best one, right?
Oh yeah, because I ain't worried about the ones coming up next. I'm worried about the one here and now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know. You're a future man, so I would kind of I would kind of think that you'd be real concerned about the ones coming up next too.
But see, that's the thing. I'm from the future. I already know there'll be plenty until I get there.
Yeah, that's true.
I kind of
Uh,
know when it runs out, so I'm okay, for now, so long as I'm here. Don't tell anyone, but that's half the reason I signed up in this unit.
what's the other
Just to
half?
come back in time. Well, to fight the demonic end.
Oh, yeah, of course. And what are we to expect of the demonic kid, and why do you want to fight the demonic kid?
Oh man, we got to fight the demonic end, man, because really,
Is it a want or is it a need?
it's a both. We both want
Okay.
and need to defeat it. The industrial society of the future, the secular world of the future, it's anti-nature. That's anti-me, and so it makes itself our enemy. We have to do something against it, or else.
So are we
What
talking about
should I do? Just lay
industrialism
down?
or
Well, it's about a lot of things. It's about everything that it's about everything, really. I mean, the demonic hen represents a lot of different things, but it mostly is meant to represent something that gives us the ability to question things, whether they're good, whether they're bad, whether they serve us or whether they don't, you know? And the demonic hen, when it becomes the demonic hen, it no longer serves us, it wants us to serve it. That's when things are no longer working, you know? And
right?
if it doesn't work for you and you are consumed by humanity, we're going to be left to grow wild. And in that process, some of us are going to become extinct. Some of us are going to take over. Things are going to become super crazy. And for all of the vegetation on Earth to exist the way it really does, we need to
Olive,
coexist with everything.
olive the vegetation, olive
Yeah,
the vegetation. Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
let us experience olive the vegetation.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Yeah, I love your food puns, man.
Yeah, we got tons of them. Food puns all around.
What's some of your favorites?
Um, hold up, I got something to catch up with. Let's see. Oh well, there's my catchphrases. Keep growing. Eggplant's rooting for you. I like that one. I use that one all the time. I share that with people on Facebook and the socials, especially when I see people making growth. Having those little growth spurts, gaining those accomplishments. I definitely like to hype people up with the keep growing, eggplants rooting for you. But I also use it when I see people I know feeling down. It's multi-purpose.
Inspirational. Yeah,
Yeah.
I get that, man. So speaking of inspiration, what kind of tips, pointers, advice would you have for anybody coming along in your footsteps?
Um, be confident, stay sure of yourself, but be willing to listen to others, especially when they're trying to give you advice about yourself. You can never truly see yourself the way others see you. And you have to take that with a grain of salt. It can only help. As you move forward, remember, you have to go through the bad experiences in life in order to have the good times in life. You have to have the bad experiences to know what bad is, so that when you get to what's good, you can embrace it. So that when you experience bad again, you know how to sidestep it and get around it so that you can get to what's good. And only you can really judge in the end whether what you did was right or wrong. When you're laying on your deathbed and you decide for yourself, I hope you did what was right. That's the only advice I can give anybody.
Nice. Okay, so let's say we're going out, man. We're gonna go have a guys' night out. We're gonna go get some food. Where are we going, man? You're picking.
To
You're
get
paying
food?
too. Yeah, you're picking and you're paying because I'm fucking broke. I don't have any
Oh,
money in my wallet. I lost it. My dog
no.
ate it, and you're paying. So where are we going?
All right. Well, if I'm paying, then there's going to be three choices. Choice number one, Demasi's. I love Demasi's Mediterranean buffet. They're all around town. Their buffet is awesome. If you love Mediterranean food, hummus, tabbouleh, baba ganoush, that shit is the bomb. They got them falafels, so good, man. And then if we don't go there, then I would maybe suggest Govinda's, because Govinda's is always good, and that's on 34th, over like in the Garden Oaks area of Houston, just north of 610. It's right next to, I believe, a Hare Krishna temple. It's built into the Hare Krishna temple. And that also is like a cafeteria style line, and the entire line is a vegan food line, and they're really good. And for the holidays, they do a big vegan spread, and the prices are right for what you're getting in there. You're going to leave like completely packed, man. You're going to feel real good and not weighed down. And then the third place I would suggest we go eat is the closest taco truck. I like to support the raza whenever I can, and it's better than a drive-through any day.
Hell yeah! What are you getting from the taco truck?
Well, it depends. It depends. You know, everybody's got their specialty. You know what I'm saying? But if I can, I do like to get. They have those pastor tacos
Oh,
at
I
the
fucking
fish
love the
place.
store.
Oh yeah, man. If you ever go to Black Magic Social Club, H-Town, if you're listening, when you're at Black Magic Social Club, when you leave there, head towards Capitol, take a right, and about a block, half a block down, there's a little taco trailer called La Sultana. Their taco pastor is so fire, bro. They have the biggest, hugest like rock, and they have a real wood fire like burning it, and it is so good. You smell that stuff all over the neighborhood. It will make you water as you drive by. Just drive by there. I guarantee you'll want to stop. And believe me, you want to get there early because they sell out. Once it's gone, it's gone.
Man, you're really selling it, bro. That sounds good as fuck.
I'm telling you, dude, Eggplant loves to eat, and he eats. You ever hear of Fruit Ideas?
What's that?
It's a restaurant. It's called Fruit Ideas y Micheladas. For the
Okay.
name, you wouldn't believe what they have in that joint. But I'm just telling you, if you like Mexican food, you need to go check that place out. If you like Mexican, they got for one, you're not going to see this in a lot of places, but they have it. They have the tortilla de nopal, which is a cactus tortilla, and man, those are so good. And then they have all kinds of other stuff there. They do machetes. You can get a machete there. They do like 3 for 20. A machete is like a 3 foot long taco, you know,
Mm.
3 foot long taco. And it's like stuffed with all kinds of shit, cheese and whatever. And then they like dip it in that birria juice, and then they put it on that grill, and they grill them on the outside. And it's like a big long machete blade like taco.
Hell yeah, that sounds fucking kick ass, man. I'm gonna
Yeah,
have to check
man.
that out too.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
turning me on to a lot of things tonight, man.
Eggplant is all about food, man. I love to eat, and any chance I get, I want to go somewhere and eat. But I've been super stringent lately, man. You know, as to what I'm taking in. So like my choices have really become pretty restrictive. I've been on an only real food diet lately, and I don't eat any junk food or take anything from the center of the store. I like to eat real foods, like real fruits, real vegetables, and like I like to make teas and stuff. So that's what I've been doing as of lately.
Kind of aiming for a more healthy, fresh approach, right?
Well, yeah, I think it's a better way for me. It's a better path for me. It's not just following my own advice, but it's also like it, it's uh it's life affirming, really, to maintain a discipline and to recognize your discipline maintenance.
Yeah. So that's a big personal goal you have for yourself right now. Then.
Oh yeah, yeah. Eggplant's always working towards his personal goals. Whether it be, health, nutrition, or maybe something that he's trying to learn, or maybe he's got a goal of like trying to play a new song, or like right now we got the goal of trying to raise money for Food Not Bombs because they're going to be paying lawyers for a federal lawsuit against the city of Houston. And Eggplant's a fucking revolutionary activist, and he's going to fucking support that.
Oh yeah, that's a big one right there.
Right? That's a good goal to have.
Yeah. So whenever you're not doing all these other things that we've been talking about tonight, is there like some TV, movies, video games you like doing in your free time? Something when you want to wind down and relax?
Honestly, no. I don't really do TV. I don't really do movies. Um, I tend to do mostly like content stuff, content creator stuff. I like to watch people make their own content and stuff as opposed to watching scripted ideas with messages and thought processes behind them that are meant to sell me more products and get me to buy more products. I try to avoid television and movies, product placement, all that stuff. I'd rather take my what is it for movie ticket now? $9. I take my $9.
No.
Yeah, I'd rather take my $9 and go down to Trip Six. You know what I mean? I'd rather take my $15 or whatever and go to House of J and know that like some young band of young people are trying to entertain me with their heart and their soul and everything that they have in them. And like to me that's money better spent and time better spent. I know that TV and movies are a big part of our world, and they have a big influence on our world, and a lot of people really get wrapped up in that. Um, but I try to avoid it as much as possible. Um, I really, if I really feel like I need to be entertained in some way with some kind of story or narrative, then I'll read a book, or if I do some, if I do some like comic books per se, it's going to be something like heavy metal, like old issues of heavy metal. I really dig those. The artworks are really great in those. The storylines are adult. You have people writing in them like Isaac Asimov, and you have like great artists in them like Frazetta or Beasley. And to me, like those kind of artists and are a lot more influential to me because even as a kid, like even when I was a kid, I didn't really get into comic books. I was more into heavy metal. I was more into Fangora. I was more into adult graphic novels that I wasn't supposed to have. You know, that to me was like my lick. I would rather sit down and read something like the Den Saga than to sit down and read like Harry Potter or I don't know what else is even out there these days. You know what I mean? Uh, I don't know. That's just me.
Yeah. So before we go, I know you were talking about a show that you have coming up, and I'll pop up the banner for that here again for everybody to see. Do you have any other shows coming up? Any new songs coming up? Any new material at all? Anything you're
Um,
working on?
Yeah, well, after this show here, we're going to be playing March 31st. That's going to be at Black Magic Social Club. We don't have the lineup on that completely. We just got asked to jump on it today. But that's going to be happening March 31st. And then April 8th, we're going to be working with Deerhead Production and Ted Ames out at Bar Acadia in the north side of Houston on 1960 Spring. And
Hmm.
we're going to be doing an autism awareness show to raise funds for an autistic school that Ted went to that now he wants to support. So we decided to get behind him and like really, throw our weight into that for him, and hopefully we'll get something happening for the school that day too, raise some funds for them. After that, there are more things that are popping up. We're going to be having an EP coming up soon. Hopefully before summer we'll have the EP out. And then what else is new with the Demonic Kid coming up? Oh, we've got like tons of new material we've been working on. Uh, we're going to be presenting that coming up within the next year or so at Chili Come Carnage. We're looking to be there with everybody, and we're going to ask everybody to help us finish writing a song that day. So that's going to be super cool. We're going to look for some audience participation in our finishing the unfinished song. So show up and
Cool
help
little
us
idea,
out with
man. I
that.
like that.
Yeah, it's well, because unity through community, and people ask us for help, and sometimes we need a little help. And so at this show, we're going to try to get everybody to help us finish this song.
Oh yeah, man. Well, you've been a really interesting person to talk to, man. You've had a lot to say. I think that we've learned a lot about you tonight. And I think it's really fucking cool that you're so passionate about what you do, and a lot of what you do is about community and helping everybody. Like I think that's really fucking cool for you to be doing that.
Thanks, we appreciate that. The whole band appreciates that because it's not just me. I mean, we all together really believe what we're talking about here. We all want to help out where we can because we know that one day we might need help. They say that in America, everyone is there. There's tons of people in America living who are only one paycheck away from being homeless. And that's a
Yeah.
horrible fate for a lot of people. That's a lot of stress for a lot of people. And I don't know, like I said, if we can just make you smile for a little bit and make you forget about it for 2 seconds, then I feel like, we've helped the best way we could. We just want people to smile. We want people to talk to each other. We want people to show love towards each other, show respect towards each other, show gratitude for each other. And like, let's all move together into the future, growing as one.
Hell yeah, man.
Yeah,
Well,
Veterans United.
I appreciate you coming on my show, man. I appreciate you spreading your knowledge and helping everyone grow. I appreciate you spreading your humor and your all around love, man. It was good talking to you.
Thanks so much for having me on, and for everybody listening. Go out and see a local show and support this podcast. Things are happening in the world. Sometimes things look bleak. Sometimes things are dark. Sometimes you think you're being buried, but really you're just being planted. The growth is coming. Stick it out. You're going to rise up into the sunlight again. Just wait for it. Work towards it. Strive for it. Keep growing. Eggplant's rooting for you.
Hell yeah, man. Before we leave, is there anything else you want to say to everybody?
Uh, yeah, one last thing. Here it is. Veggies united and beware the demonic hand.
Fuck yeah. Well, let me pop up this banner one more time if you want to talk about it and tell everybody while it's on the screen.
All right, so we're going to have the Chili Come Carnage cook-off March 12th. It starts at 1. It's over at 9. We're going to have the demonic hen. We're going to have stupid idiot. We're going to have toxic origin. We're going to have holy hell. We're going to have the free radicals. We're going to have Rooftop Boxer, and we're going to have Psychotic Tendencies. Outside at the Chili Cook-Off, we're also going to have DJ El Turco. We're also going to have Felipe Galvan's Pachuco Boogie Sound System. And they're going to be rocking the jam and the vinyl outside while people are cooking up the chili. Come on out, eat some chili. All the proceeds are to help benefit Food Not Bombs. It's $15 to get in, all ages at 1810 OG Man in Spring Branch.
Fuck yeah, man. And before we leave, I'll tell everybody a little something too. I have this new song, People, that I just released. Check it out. It's about how people suck. I don't really like people, you know? If you don't like people, you'll like it maybe. My band, Infected Me, we just dropped a cover of a Ramones song, Cretin Hop. That's available everywhere. All of these songs are available everywhere. And my new album by myself and my group Autopsy Room, The Lost Tapes, you know? Bunch of songs that we never released, you know, between fucking 2004 and now. And now they are released. So check all that shit out, you know? And,
Better late than never.
yeah, while you're on Spotify, Pandora, iTunes, YouTube, whatever the fuck you're on, and you're checking out Hulk DMI and Autopsy Room, go check out Demonic Hen too, you know?
We're on YouTube and the socials.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah.
I thought you were going to keep going with that one, man.
I think you're out there.
Yeah. But anyways, everybody, this has been the Hulk DMI show. This has been the Eggplant show, actually, tonight, you know. And we're glad that you came and you watched it, everyone. So thank you for coming and showing love. Thank you in the comments, Ben Nelson, Not Slim One, Linoleum Doll. Who else? Nen Spreader 17, Colton Primo. Thank you, everybody. And everybody that didn't comment. I don't know who else was in here fucking watching our show, but thank you for being here. And yeah, you know, this has been the Hulk DMI show. So until next time, I'll be back in a few days, a week. Who knows? I'll be back with somebody else interesting to learn about. But until next time, everybody have a good night. And this has been the fucking Hulk DMI show. Bye.